Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to bring to you a little bit of explanation about one of the candidates who is running to become the next Polish president. Because, excuse me, I'm already losing the voice because clearly it's even hard to talk about it. And that's one of the reasons why I was really avoiding that topic. We have 11 candidates running for president of Poland after Duda will be gone, as Lukashenko calls him Dudu. After Duda is gone, we will have another one. And it's very hard for me to observe those debates, to look at those people, questions, answers. I was avoiding to address that. However, yesterday, one of those candidates gave an interview on Fox Business, and when you watch that interview, you might have a completely different opinion about this person. So I will give you some facts about who he is and how media is manipulating the polls, the surveys, how high he is in the ratings. So I will explain to you, and we will watch that interview from Fox. Now, I want to start with another candidate for the president of Poland, and that is Jerzy Braun. I should just call him by his Polish name, Jerzy Braun, who, as many of you probably recognize, was the very same one who used the fire extinguisher in Polish parliament to bring down Hanukkah. And this is the very same one who addresses European Union in a way that they removed him from that building. So we start with him because he went to one of the Polish cities, to the hospital, in which they are actively participating in killing the babies before they are born. This form of abortion that they are doing is, I think, is the same as it is in United States, Canada, and many other countries that sold their soul to the evil, right? And I'm not saying the entire country, but the ideology that they are pushing on people, because life does not matter, doesn't matter the color. Even they say Black Lives Matter. No, none of those lives matters. So the pregnancy, 9 months, about to give birth, they inject straight into that baby's heart some form of substance. Please forgive me, I forgot the name of it. I don't even want to remember it, into that heart, and the baby dies. So he went to that hospital because it looks like the woman, the doctor that was practicing it, and you will see this in the video, you will see her face, and I will play this video without the sound because that's in Polish. I just want to give you an image of that intervention. It looks like she was actually very happy about those procedures, and she was talking about it, advertising, I think, I don't know, being very proud of what she's doing. They excuse themselves, they justify that, saying that this is due to the mental state of mother, which is another story to it. So let me play this. I just show you, actually, I don't have to mute myself. Let me show you that intervention that took place. And this is what many people in Poland, since actually the day before yesterday, but yesterday was the intervention, are talking about. So here you see this is the woman in this green outfit. This is Grzegorz Braun. Some of you probably recognize him. And let me just show you, this is her face. I forgot how many babies were killed that way, using that injection, but just looking at her body language, someone who has completely zero regret, remorse. I mean, just tells you all. I don't know if there's a director of this hospital, because they sit down with the director of the hospital Anyway, guys, this is what's taking place. But what I want to read you now, 1 second, I stopped sharing. I should continue sharing. I want to read you the comments, and then we will go to explaining to you who is the next candidate for the president of Poland. Okay, so let's read the comments under that video. Sorry, it will be right here. Let's scroll through it. Let's read this in Polish. Medics have become mongrel during the pandemic. Next one. Abortion at the 9th month was recently legal in Auschwitz. This doctor talks about this act as lightly as if what she did was killing a worm. This is disgusting. And another one mentioning Auschwitz again. There were also doctors in Auschwitz. Oh, sorry, one more. You are supposed to heal, not murder. And the last one, she should lose her license to practice her profession and be stigmatized by society. What I think is very important here, that this is highlighted, and many people that didn't know that those kind of procedures were taking place are waking up to this fact, getting informed. And I really hope that somehow God will help us to turn this around, because this really is, you think Poland is such a God-loving country. It took some time, but they were able to inject just like that poison into this 9-month-old human. Not even yet 9 months as far as, being born, but it's already alive inside. They injected this into schools and many other places. So now I want to take you, since we are on this topic, to the interview with Rafał Trzaskowski. Who is this man? Well, at this moment, he is mayor of Warsaw, the capital of Poland, and he's one of those who is running to become the next president of Poland. I will be playing the video, stopping it, and then give you some facts, or maybe I should start with one, and then we go to the video and I will bring you more info. Let's start with something that is probably the most important, because this tells you everything. He was a pupil, so he was a student of an organization sponsored by George Soros, and thanks to the money from that organization, he studied at the foreign university. So when you hear his language, his English is pretty good. That's due to that he was studying at the foreign university, sponsored by that organization that George Soros either created or is sponsoring. To this day, the name of this organization is unknown. I don't know the name of this organization, but some of you probably do. If you don't, it's okay. If you do, put in the comments down below. I don't know if this is Skull and Bones, but I wouldn't be surprised. Now, another fact. Let me just read you this first, and then you will look at the man, because then you have more understanding. So, in 2018, as he was running for the mayor of Warsaw, he said, "I would like very much to be the first mayor of Warsaw who will marry a gay couple." And then he signed the declaration of LGBTQ+, on the basis of which, among other things, regulations were introduced that discriminate against some entrepreneurs. So, like you have to have certain rules for those who support LGBTQ. So LGBTQ+ was introduced to the schools. The sexualization of the youngest children is based on WHO guidelines, which include indications such as, are you ready, teaching about masturbation starting before the age of 4 and continuing it until the age of 12. Or informing young people about combining sex with the exchange for economic goods. So I gave you some facts here. Now, what I want to do is to play that interview. And when she will mention how are his ratings, I will take you to his ratings. And then I show you the truth. So let me mute myself now and let's listen. This is WEF representation for Poland. Major media push. I don't think he's gonna win, but that's another story. Let's listen to this interview. I don't know if Maria knows what she is talking about or she just got the script and she has to repeat the script.
Welcome back. Russia is threatening Poland and the Baltics, claiming that they would be, quote, the first to suffer if a direct conflict between Russia and NATO breaks out. This follows Russia's deadly attack on Ukraine over the weekend. Poland's foreign minister telling reporters on Monday, quote, I hope that President Trump and his administration see that the leader of Russia is mocking their goodwill, and I hope the right decisions are taken. Joining me now is the mayor of Warsaw, Poland, Rafał Trzaskowski, with me right now. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. Good morning.
What would be the right response to what we saw over the weekend? What is Poland's position at this point?
We have to stay strong and we have to deter Russia and Putin. We've done our job in Poland because we've invested heavily in our defense and our defense capabilities within NATO. We are spending 5% of our GDP on defense. We are buying equipment also from the Americans. We are securing our border. And that's what we need to do. We need to strengthen the NATO and North Atlantic Alliance. And we need to do one more thing, because President Trump is absolutely right that the Europeans have to take the responsibility and spend more money on defense. And we need to convince them, and that's what Poland is doing, to treat the threat seriously and spend more. And I would make it my mission, if I were to be elected president, to convince countries such as Spain or Italy or the Netherlands to spend at least 3% of their GDP on defense, because we need to strengthen our European capabilities within NATO to deter successfully Russia and others who want to threaten us.
Yes, this is a very good point. And of course, the United States and Poland have had a long and historic relationship. We have spoken with President Duda many times when he was in the United States to meet with President Trump. This is critical to both countries and the world. Mr. Mayor, what do you want to say about the relationship in President Trump's second term? Can you assess it for us? And what do you want to say to the United States in this moment of stress?
Well, first of all, we are allies. We're very, very close. Poland is one of the most pro-American countries in the world, and we have been allies. When 9/11 happened, of course, NATO used Article 5, and we were the first. Poland was the first to actually send our troops to Iraq, even though some other European countries were not doing that. We sent our troops to Afghanistan. We were fighting arm in arm with our American friends. We sent almost 30,000 troops altogether. So we are one of the closest allies of America. We are also buying American equipment. We are, of course, stationing American troops on our soil, and we are building this very very capable and effective missile defense system. I think that the most important thing is that we need to stay strong. We need to stay very close, Europe and America, because only when we are together, then we can really deter all of the countries who wants to attack us or even threaten to attack us. This is really, really important, and that's why I think that we need to hear what President Trump is saying. We need to convince other Europeans to treat security seriously, to also share part of that burden, and strengthen the transatlantic alliance as much as we can, because every crazy dictator in the world is watching. And if we are going to be strong, and if you're going to project power, then we are going to be much safer.
Yeah, and particularly now at this moment of stress and upset and potential issues with Germany. I mean, the issue of migration is just as much of an issue in Poland as we've seen the issue up to the forefront in America. This issue of contention between the countries is migration. What can you tell us about that?
Well, first of all, everyone has to understand that what we see on our eastern border is now a hybrid warfare, which is waged by Russia and Belarus against Poland and against Europe, because
Okay, I stop it for a moment because he is deliberately shifting the direction of the illegal migration to the eastern border. But we have a major problem at the western border because Germany is pushing over 10,000 just happened. I didn't report on it because I need some break. I'm pretty much exhausted from the politics, to be honest. 10,000 so-called doctors and engineers to Poland. And we already have many protests in many Polish cities, little towns, that's supposed to have those places for integration for the illegal immigrants, right? So he's deliberately talking about the eastern border, not even mentioning the western right now. And then I will show you, because she will say something that is, again, absolutely not true. I don't know if she really knows what's going on or she just has the list. And I think to read from, and I think many people who are watching this actually believe this guy. That is an absolutely Soros puppet, but like Sikorski, right? So let's continue with this video.
they're trying to destabilize us. They're bringing migrants from all over the world there, and they're trying to tell them that they would cross the border into Europe. Now, we've secured the border. I mean, now the border, our eastern border, and also the eastern border of the North Atlantic Alliance and of the European Union is one of the most secure borders in the world, because we need to show the right signal to the Russians and to the others that we are not going to let any immigrants cross the border. We are not going to allow anyone to destabilize us. We need to be very strong on that.
Let me get your take on the upcoming presidential election next month. Voters are going to the polls May 18th. Mr. Mayor, you are a candidate in this election. You're leading in recent polls.
Okay, correction here. He is not leading. I will show you one of the video from his rallies in a second, but that's BS.
Polls, what do you want to say to the people of Poland? What is your agenda?
Well, of course, I mean, the most important thing is security. And I want to say that I have a plan. I mean, first of all, we need to invest more in our defense capabilities. We need to convince Europe to do the same. We need to have the best possible relationship with the United States of America, but also strengthen our European capabilities within NATO. We need to do both. And we need to also talk to our American friends and try to convince them that whatever happens, and I know that President Trump wants peace, we cannot allow Putin to present the end of this conflict as his win, because he will try to do that. And then every country in the world who wishes ill to the United States or to Europe will use that, and they will try to interpret that as our weakness. So we have to remain strong, because, I mean, the bad guys only understand the language of power and the language that, of course, the American president is exuding. That's the most important thing. And we need to stay united. When we are united, when we collaborate, also when it comes to trade, then we are strong, and our enemies have to think twice before doing anything unpredictable to the United States of America or to Europe.
So what about trade and the president's tariffs in America? The EU negotiating right now with President Trump on the level of tariffs. And I believe President Trump would like to see more sales of oil and gas from America to the European Union, Poland included, as opposed to this market underground of Russia selling oil across the world.
And absolutely, we're on the same page with President Trump on that. First of all, I interpret the fact that, you know, President Trump opened this conversation about tariffs as an opening bid. I think that we should simply sit at the table and try to have as good a relationship as we can when it comes to trade, because we're crucial partners. Poland, for example, buys a lot of American equipment in the defense sector, and not only in the defense sector, welcomes American investment. So there's a lot of synergy that we can attain, and that's what we should do. And yes, you're absolutely right that some countries, some companies are actually going around sanctions and buying Russian gas. What we need to do now is to buy, of course, gas from America. We are doing it through our LNG harbor, and we need to do more in order to be absolutely independent of Russia when it comes to fossil fuels. That would strengthen our energy security, and that will also strengthen our security overall. We just need to be as close as possible. And when it comes to trade, we need the best trade relationship with the United States, which is going to benefit, of course, both sides.
All right.
It's interesting how accurate, because there is the next video who is here. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is anything but innocent. And, you know, this is about the criminal who it's from this gang that is just a big topic in the United States because he killed, I think, many people, not just the woman who had, I think, 5 children. But what I want to say is that this one here is also not innocent in a different way, of course. Now, this was the interview, and I want to show you now an article that is complete lie. It's about how he is winning. So let's take a look, because here it says those 3 candidates that you see here are on the top of the list. And Trzaskowski, this is right here, the one who was just interviewed, is the one who is apparently winning. So in this poll, it says that he has 50% of support, and then the other one, Sławomir Mencen, who is from Konfederacja, has 43. I tell you my personal opinion, of course, I don't know, I'm not a poll expert, and I don't believe in polls, to be honest. But if you look at this, you have one more candidate, who is Grzegorz Braun, who I just showed you, who was in that hospital with intervention. In my opinion, the real numbers are Sławomir Mencen, this is the one here, Grzegorz Braun, and then probably Trzaskowski. I actually think Trzaskowski is below this one, who represents law and justice, right? Nawrocki, I think it's his name. The entire political scene in Poland is just absolutely exhausting, and looking at it makes me very, very tired. I know I'm supposed to explain to you who is who and so on. I might do it, but I have to say I'm taking vacation in a few days from now, and I will be gone from YouTube and all social media for about a week. I really need it. I need the reset for my mind and mental space and the energy field. Now let me show you how they greet Trzaskowski. These are the soccer fans. We say football in Poland, but in US you call it soccer. The most, probably one of the most popular sports discipline in Poland. This is how they greet him, and that's how he turns around what they are saying. He doesn't have much support. A lot of people actually who come to his rallies, they come with those buses, and they are usually paid, and they work for many offices, governmental offices, and so on. So instead of being in the building, probably they go there. It's pretty common. It's not just in his case, in many other candidates' cases. So let me play this. I will mute myself, and then I will be translating what they were saying, shouting actually. Okay, so I will translate already. So they are shouting entire Poland without Rafał, that's his name. And then I will just scroll it here. He is shouting right here, entire Poland for Rafał, with Rafał. I will attach the link down below this video. And you will see he was really disturbed with this. Actually, he's pretending like he's not, but he was. That entire square that you see it, very small fraction of it was occupied by those supporters. And of course, the image they presented is as if he took over, that he was so popular, as if he took over the entire square and everyone was there for him, which is of course not true. So that's how this looks like currently in Poland, everyone. That's all I have for you today. Like I said, I will be taking a break. I think tomorrow might be one more video for you. I really need it. I feel my mind is overstimulated because I watch a lot of things and it really exhausts you. The frequency of it is just very, very low. So you might see me tomorrow and then you will not see me for about a week. And I'm sure you will be absolutely fine without my videos. Thank you so much for watching. If you appreciate the content, I hope I was not too much all over the place, but I gave you some clarity about how in US you can also see this is fake news, absolutely fake news, what they are presenting about the people. Thank you so much for watching, hitting the thumbs up, subscribing, sharing, leaving the comments down below. The links will be down below when you scroll down in the description box. And if you choose to support my work, I very much appreciate it. The best way is to join the membership of this channel or become the Patreon supporter or join me on Locals. You also have PayPal link if you choose to donate, and follow me on Instagram. It's @Ania_44. With this being said, lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you probably in one more video tomorrow. Bye, everyone.